teams, two conferences. It's a road game for the Heat in this one. Joined in the booth with Greg Anthony and Brent Barry, this is Kevin Harlan. Our sideline reporter, David Aldridge. This is the first game back in Denver for the Nuggets. And, of course, Hassan Whiteside. Even without him over the short term, they've really come together and are playing some pretty good basketball.
And it's a trade that it caught me a little off guard, I have to be honest, Kevin. He played such a big part for this team. And really the last guy I expected to see them move.
It'll be the Heat off the tip. So here's Miami's starting group. Chris Bosh is out there with James Johnson. Then there's Dragic. Then it's David Lee. And it's Bradley in at the 2 spot. And it's good for 2. And with the playoffs on the horizon, it's a completely different type of game.
Well, the difference, Kevin, really is the fact that you're able to dig so much deeper into what a team does and how effective they are, and then be able to take those things away. That is the test during the playoffs that everybody's up against. Is your next best good enough against our next best?
Even just small moves can make such a difference.
Little tiny adjustments and wrinkles in some of the things that you do can really throw off a team with the way that they're preparing for you and what you're about to bring in terms of the storm the playoffs are.
Now here's Bosh. He's coming off a 10-point game against Boston.
And really, last time, what I liked best is he used his body extremely well on the offensive glass. It seemed like the defense wanted no part of him when he got underneath.
The Nuggets now on offense, and this is their first time matched up with this year's Heat team.
An East-West showdown, only one of 2 games between these squads.
That adds a little extra emphasis to this first matchup, in my opinion, with each team wanting to grab the win and have a chance to sweep the season series the next time they see each other.
And you can't see Chris Bosh and not think of the season he was forced to miss out due to his blood clot. Glad to see him not only back on the floor, but making a full recovery from the issue.
And if by full recovery, Kevin, you mean participating in the All-Star game that very next year, that's some impressive stuff from Chris Bosh. You could see in the early part of the season how much passion he was playing with and how much fun it was for him to be back on the NBA floor.
Both good from the line that time.
Boy, he's got a great stroke from the line. That's not something we can say about all the league's big guys.
Passes to Jokic. And Harris wide open. He shoots. And again, Denver no good. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to David Aldridge.
Well, Mike Malone gave me a few minutes to catch up with him. He told me he's looking forward to the matchup tonight. It's their first time against this team, so he is curious to see what his guys do on offense. He said it's important that we're aggressive defensively, that we use our length and shot blocking as a deterrent inside. We'll see if they can be successful tonight. Kevin, back to you.
Okay, Dave, thanks. So it's mainly about defense for them early on.
And it won't just be early. I mean, it'll be about D all game long.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're not going with a little bit more of a balanced approach, but they say that defense wins championships, so the focus is there, and we'll see if that gives them the benefit of the doubt.
And boy, did they need that one. Their first make in the 5 field goal attempts they've had.
Here's Lee, and Lee with the stuff.
And nice court vision from Dragic there to get a great look at the bucket.
And it's the Nuggets with the ball. It's a 3-point game. They come into this having outplayed Phoenix the last game.
And believe it or not, it wasn't the star that led the charge for them in that win. It was about the role players. I mean, the guys who they don't usually count on for the lion's share of their points came through.
Well, how much more does it mean that they did this on the road? Some tired legs on their starters led to more minutes for the bench, and that turned out to be a big blessing in disguise.
Here's Moutier after the made shot from David Lee. Here's the floater. Moutier, no good.
Well, he's a great finisher around the rim, but some stellar defense there stopped that from happening.
Here's Bosh, and the dunk by Bosh.
Oh, nice explosion to the basket by Bosh, who wastes no time in throwing that one down.
And Brent, for the Nuggets, they know that it's going to be a growing process for a few years before they can compete.
Well, a lot of learning on the job, not only for the players, but for the coaching staff, Kevin. But that can be a great thing. You know, if you're rooted together in the struggle to become successful in the NBA, you're going to share those successes on such a deeper level once they come.
2 shots.
That free throw good from Kenneth Faried.
And the way that the league is changing, you have to respect the fact that Eric Spoelstra has changed along with it. He's had a lot of small ball during the big 3 years, and he's been able to recognize when it's advantageous to go small with his roster for quite some time.
Catching up on the changes for Denver. Mason Plumlee's checked in for Jokic. Chandler comes in for Gallinari. Will Barton, he's checked in for Harris. And Murray's subbed in for Moutier. And thinking about Spoelstra and how he was one of the few coaches to go small a couple years ago, Brent, you have to admire his flexibility in his approach.
Well, I think any coach really relishes the opportunity, Kevin, to have options on the floor. And when LeBron James is playing the 4 spot, he's a mismatch for everybody. Let's face it, when LeBron's on the floor for anybody at any position, he's a mismatch. But Eric Spoelstra did some thinking outside the box and got that team to play championship caliber basketball for 4 straight seasons.
And guys, he's not an easy man to stop when he's got the rim in his sights.
Never has been, never will be. He is a determined finisher. Winslow, the pass to Johnson. Gets to the rim for 2 with the D all over him.
That's the 10th straight point they've given up in the paint.
Murray with it. 11 points for him in that last game against Phoenix. Here's Chandler. Not enough on that one as it misses.
And he rushed that one, no doubt about it. The D out of position. You could see the frustration on his face.
Johnson can't get it to go.
Well, he has more than enough strength to fight through the D and convert that one. I'm surprised he came up short there.
Barton dishes to Plumlee. Plumlee with the screen. Shot clock at 5. Murray kicks to Plumlee. And he hits it just before the shot clock expires.
Not the classic jump shooter. Plumlee has cleaned up some mechanics, and he showed it there.
Back to Bosch. Here's Johnson, and Johnson with the stuff.
And very little fight put up by the defense as he made his way to the bucket for the jam.
They did seem to take the cautious approach, Greg, when it came to defending that one. You're right.
When you're playing from behind, you cannot let your opponent have things that are that easy. And that was easy. That's one of his best attributes, is his passes hit guys in stride.
Winslow, the pass to Bosch. Winslow against Chandler. Shoots from the right block, and there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul, shot misses. He'll be shooting 2. And there's the foul against Denver. For Miami, they have had 2 chances at the line already, making them both. And he knocks down the first one.
I think Winslow takes a lot of pride in getting himself to the free throw line, understands his body and size, and he will continue to improve upon that over time.
Jameer Nelson's checked in for the Nuggets. Then for the Heat, Johnson, he's checked in for Johnson. Bradley comes in for Chris Bosh. And Josh Richardson subbed in for Tyler Johnson. That's also good, so he hits both free throws. There's 21 seconds left in the first. Now, here is Nelson. Not a lot of room. He kicks it to Chandler. He got it up in time, but it wouldn't fall for him. The basket's coming early and often in the first quarter. Heat out front, up by 5. From the Pepsi Center in downtown Denver, we're back in a moment. a chance to hear from Chris Bosh about what it meant to him to become an NBA player, the fulfillment of a lifelong dream.
I was obsessed with the NBA as a kid, and just like I would have died to get in that locker room, you know. So I always have a moment just sitting around and, you know, just not taking things for granted and really taking everything in. And, you know, I couldn't have written the script any better.
What a great cut from Chris Bosh. That's the kind of guy you can't help, Greg, but love for his attitude and ability to be, you know, in touch with that kid he once was. I know you played the same way. Chris Bosh is living the dream like you did and loving it.
That's a great point, Kevin. And I think most of the guys in the league feel that same way. I mean, they may not be able to say it or articulate it as smoothly as Chris does,
sure,
but inside every NBA player is a kid who's still thrilled to wear the uniform and play the game they love.
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. And let's quickly break down the game we've seen from Miami, guys.
They come out the gates here strong and put together just a solid first quarter.
Well, they've carved out a nice little advantage here, really by dictating the pace early on.
And a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor, all fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. And for Miami, looking who they've got out there. Mills out there with Bradley. Then it's David Lee. Then it's Johnson. And it's Winslow in at the 4. Now, here is Gallinari. He had 13 points in the win against Phoenix. Another 3 for Denver.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
You watch Jokic play, and you can see why so many are high on his ability to be a star someday. Brent has all the tools, is a legit 7-footer, and he moves with such ease.
Yeah, Jokic has a nice face-up game and has lateral movement as a big, which is quite impressive. Sense of spacing with his passing is pretty good. His timing on defense is good. Be interesting to see how he develops in the next couple seasons.
Shot clock at 3. Here's Chandler. And it comes off the front of the rim.
That was some very intimidating, aggressive defense that really helped alter that shot.
And Mills kicks to Winslow. Feeds it to Johnson. That one goes in. And now a 6-point Heat lead.
Yeah, that's the third bucket in a row from the paint. This defense needs to clog those lanes in the middle.
Back to Nelson. Denver passing it around. Here's Jokic. It's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. Brent, they say the elite big man in the middle is a dying breed. What do you think? Any truth to that?
How about the birth of the new big man?
I would say so, too.
I just don't like to be so pessimistic about what it is that we used to see.
You see cycles, right, in the league? We always see cycles.
Absolutely. So I'm more of one of those guys, glasses half full. So let's celebrate the versatility, the mobility, and the incredible talent of the young players at their size being able to be as effective as they are in the NBA.
Free throw, good. Jokic. A different look for Denver. Gary Harris is checked in for Barton. And Emmanuel Mudiay subbed in for Jameer Nelson. The Heat also changing it up. Amir Johnson's checked in for Johnson. Johnson comes in for Bradley. And it's Dragic in for Patty Mills. He's perfect from the line this time.
And for the Heat last season, they seem to have a very defensive approach to how it is that they wanted to play. Challenged every shot, did well on their rotations, and they definitely limited their opponents' scoring by slowing down the pace of the game.
Over to the wing. Dragic with a wide open look. Here's Lee, and it goes as the official calls the foul. Count it. He'll shoot one more at the free throw line.
Solid rebound there, and with the score like it is, that's an area where they can't afford to get lazy.
As you said, the Heat pride themselves on their defensiveness, and one of the best teams in the league, Brent, in opposing points per game.
Well, it shows you just how great a unit they are defensively, but you can't just have athleticism and tenacity on the defensive end. You have to have great communication on the back line, and I think that that's where the credit to the coaching staff has to go. They've gotten these guys to talk to each other on that end of the floor, and that's reaping some huge dividends. Well, a good first quarter, good second. This could be a big night.
Chris Bosh is checked in for David Lee. Denver shooting their 5th attempt at the line in the game.
Well, it's interesting to watch him because he's putting his body on the line to get to the line. We didn't see this during the first quarter, but he's making up for it here.
Now here's Dragic. His last outing, he had 8 points. Johnson can't get it to go. And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, guys, the 10th pick in the draft can sometimes be a diamond in the rough. You remember Paul Pierce went to the Celtics many years ago with the 10th pick, and Justice Winslow fell to the Heat with the 10th pick a couple of years ago. From day one, Winslow has proven to be on the elite side of defenders in the league. Eric Spoelstra told us he plays with a veteran poise, but also with a youthful intensity, particularly on the defensive end. Kevin, he's been a great fit in Miami.
He just makes winning plays, D.A. Thank you.
Well, you can see the confidence in Moutier there on that move and still gets that shot to drop in after contact.
Plumlee, he's checked in for Denver. Murray comes in for Wilson Chandler.
Still believe that the Nuggets play their best when the ball is moving around. They rely on ball movement to create shots and open up opportunities. They don't have a lot of great isolation players.
Now here's Dragic. Looking at his point production, he averages almost 8 points a game. A nice shot by Winslow.
Not a lot of resistance on the inside, and they're taking full advantage.
Now here's Moutier. He's guarded by Dragic. Fires from deep. The shot, no good. And it's Miami the other way. Their last game, a win against Boston, looking to carry it into this one.
And we've seen them play better games than that one, but still, they were able to get the win.
Yeah, in the end, actually a pretty comfortable win for them. That was a gritty effort on a night when they were not playing their best basketball.
And they're shooting really well from long range this quarter. They should keep looking for the three-point shot for some extra offense.
Johnson dishes to Bosch. Plumlee with the rebound. Denver's gone 3 of 6 tonight when they've let it fly from downtown. Now here's Moutier. He's guarded by Dragic. Great positioning on the putback. Jokic has got 9 points in the quarter.
Oh, a nice tip in to salvage the points from that missed shot.
Yeah, and those second chance points can add up.
Solid pass from Dragic there to set up his teammate.
Now here's Moutier. He's guarded by Dragic. Moutier, no good.
He just doesn't seem to be himself shooting the ball right now, guys. Just looks a tad bit uneasy, and that's affecting the result. Around the league, Chris Bosh is thought about as such a versatile big man that still can dominate a game. Rare to have someone be so comfortable from anywhere on the floor with his size. Creating his own shot is very rare at the power forward spot, but expanding to the three-point line has made him devastating offensively.
The first one falls. And with Bosh in his play, he's still one of the best power forwards in the league. Brent, you have to include his name into that conversation.
Well, don't let Eric Spoelstra's secrets out of the bag with what Chris Bosh does for him defensively. That's where he shows so much versatility as a 4 or 5 man, completely mobile out there, and it allows multiple pick and roll coverages.
Both free throws good from Bosh.
No wasted trips at all. They're taking care of business at the line.
Murray kicks to Plumlee. Plumlee sets the pick for Moutier. Miami grabs the miss.
Oh, boy, I tell you what, they don't get much uglier than the quarter he's having.
Yeah, his confidence really nowhere to be found right now, and he's lost all rhythm in that jumper.
Guys, that's just really unstoppable. He poses a ton of matchup problems for whomever he's facing.
Now here's Murray. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Pass to Moutier. They need this.
And if you have credits to give out, give them to Dragic. Stellar defense.
And we've reached halftime in this one. Heat lead by 7. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks very much. Warren, it looks like you guys are giving them a lot of different looks offensively. Is that the key to the lead?
Yeah, you know, if every player on the court is dangerous for basket, then it's much easier for us, you know. And for defense, it's tough.
Thanks, Gorham. We'll see you in the second half. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, Dave, thank you. And time now for the halftime break with the third quarter soon to follow right here on 2K Sports.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson, joined by Kenny Smith, right there. And Shaquille O'Neal, he's right there. Welcome to the NBA Halftime Show on 2K Sports. It was a closely contested first quarter for Miami. At the end of one, they were able to end up with a 5-point lead. Let's hear from you, Shaq, on the Heat first half.
You got to like their offense efficiency. They were patient, took good shots. That was reflected in their high field goal percentage. They just need to keep playing smart in the second half and close this thing out. Don't get cute now.
Kenny, what was your takeaway on Denver?
Well, I think they could be way more physical than they have been in the first half. Their defense gave up way too many easy looks, and that kind of defense will turn to a loss any night.
It is just about time now for the third quarter to begin. After the final buzzer sounds, the three of us will still be sitting here talking to you.
Actually, it's 4 people.
Now the second half about to start up and begin any moment. One of the stories here, Nikola Jokic getting it done today.
Yeah, the rebounding, particularly on the offensive side, as good as it gets. He was bringing the effort down low.
Yeah, those extra possessions, considering how hard it can be sometimes to find offense, become invaluable.
The Nuggets trail by 7. Moutier and Harris are their lengthy guard set. Gallinari and Fareed, the duo at the forward. And it's Jokic in at the 5 spot. That's the group for Mike Malone getting going here in the second half. Inside leaner, here's Harris. From outside, off the mark.
I'm shocked that didn't turn into 3 points. I mean, he makes you pay on those nearly every time.
Denver's gone 3 of 7 tonight from 3-point territory. Down low. Gallinari passes to Jokic. Marked down low that time, and he got the 3-second goal. And a look now at the 4 areas where shots can come from. The paint, mid-range, and shots from deep, all broken down for the Heat.
And this shot chart shows just how effective their offense has been this season. They're the top-ranked team in the conference, and they've gotten there because of how multidimensional their offense has been. They don't get their points from any one specific area on the floor. They can score from all over the place.
The Nuggets trail by 7. Nice to see Mike Malone back out there on the sideline. He left Sacramento in kind of bred an odd situation, to say the least, but he is showing he is a solid coach in the NBA.
You know that saying, Kevin, where things work out as they should? For Mike Malone, I think the Denver Nuggets is exactly where he should be. He did a tremendous job in Sacramento, especially getting through to DeMarcus Cousins, and it was a bit shocking that he was removed from that position. But Denver swiping him up, moving forward, and now they have a coach for their future.
A 3. Harris misses. The Heat leading by 7. Bradley dishes to Dragic. First minute and a half of basketball here in the third quarter. And the call will be against David Lee. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far. And the Nuggets with some changes. Wilson Chandler's checked in for Reed. Will Barton comes in for Harris. And Jameer Nelson is subbed in for Emmanuel Moutier. And Miami with a change here too. Mills is checked in. Nelson kicks to Gallinari. Nelson outside. Back to Gallinari. No good from outside.
Yeah, they just cannot seem to throw it in the ocean right now. 0 of 3 from the field is not what they wanted.
And here's Mills for 3. They grabbed their own miss. And so he draws the foul on the shot, a trip to the line to shoot 2.
And with the offense getting right to the rim, at least they saved the layup.
You know, Brent, the slam dunk, maybe the most dynamic play in the game. You've got your highlight reel dunkers and your game dunkers. And you've won the dunk contest yourself back in '96. Who are your favorite dunkers in the league right now?
I think the guy I enjoy the most, Kevin, is Russell Westbrook. And it's mostly because of what he does to the rim on his dunk attempts. I mean, there's an incredible violence to what he does in the best way possible.
Torque.
The way that he gets to the rack.
It's amazing. Explosive. He explodes to the rim.
Yeah, and there's a little power and a little anger involved, and all that mixed together makes for one great highlight.
Violent, you're right. And so he hits both. And we're just about 2 minutes into the second half now. Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, the Miami Heat is still relevant in the East. The team made some excellent roster moves to bring in new talent after losing LeBron James to Cleveland a couple of years ago. Coach Spoelstra said, how many teams, if you lose the best player in the game, can have a compelling team 13 months later? You know, Kevin, in Miami, they don't stay down for long.
Thank you, DA. A championship caliber organization from the top down.
All right, after 4 misses, they finally get one to go. That has to be a big relief for the offense after beginning this half on a bit of a cold streak.
And Denver decides to take their first time out here.
You know, he, just like every other coach, can't stand when the defense gives up points on the inside. And boy, are they struggling in there.
Yeah, some of that right now might be a lack of toughness, but you can't combine that with laziness. Guys are not crashing down and closing off those driving lanes.
Just trying to get a break in the action to clear some heads here. I mean, they've gone ice cold, and not a bad idea to give them a little quick breather.
Well, take your breather, but then come up with a game plan or a set that produces something high percentage. Let's get back on track.
And Miami making a change here. Winslow's checked in. And here is the 2K leaderboard with the list of the NBA's top rebounding teams this season. The Nuggets in second.
You know, it's not necessarily a glamour stat, but make no mistake, their top-notch board work has been a huge key to their success.
Gallinari left side. Good, and a nice assist from Nelson. Gallinari's got 5 now.
Respecting the effort from Gallo there, works his way near the rim, and no one stops him from doing his thing there.
Johnson kicks to Mills. 6 feet out. And he converts the layup. Mills has got the lead up to 11 now for the Heat.
Well, if you're going to give them layups, there's no way you're going to get back in this game.
Yeah, buckling down on defense, the key here. No more easy buckets, no more layups. Has to be the mantra as they try to mount that comeback.
And they've got a big lead, not just on the scoreboard, but really in the rebounding numbers as well.
The shot. Here's Johnson. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up. This is his first trip to the line tonight.
He's knocked down 3/4 of his foul shots this season, so he's right around 75%.
2 shots.
And the first one drops for the Nuggets. Plumlee comes in for Gallinari. And Murray's subbed in for Jameer Nelson. And Johnson drops them both.
We're still waiting for that first miss from the line this half.
They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
And Plumlee kicks to Chandler. Plumlee with a screen on Winslow. In the corner, Murray with it. A 3-pointer is right on target. Murray's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. The dish now to Lee. Tries tried to bank it in, but he misses. The Nuggets trail by 10. And Mason Plumlee, 6'11", very athletic, but despite that, he's not a big-time rim protector.
No, but he is very mobile, and if he can get his body in front of guys who are attacking the rim, he can certainly be a disturbance in there. You ask the scouts, he's improved quite a bit defensively over the past couple seasons.
They are just killing him on the interior.
Murray, the stupendous finish in traffic. Murray's got 5 points so far.
Well, if Murray gets his slashing game together like that, that's a good sign for his offense. Love how confident he is.
You know, Brent, every player is forced to figure out what they want to do when their career comes to a close. How did you choose to join us here in broadcasting, and how has that transition been for you?
Well, I'm a big video game player, Kevin, so here I am.
Good.
Thanks a lot.
And you're a good one.
I love to play, and now I got boys that do the same thing, so it's one big happy circle.
And plus, it's kind of like brushing up on the league, too, because there's so many stories and the way players play. A lot of things develop in your mind, I'm sure, as you watch and play.
If I can be serious for a moment, Kevin, my dad was a broadcaster for quite some time, and I always felt like after my playing career I might have an opportunity to do the same. And here I am, very fortunate to continue to talk about the game I love.
Berries are blessed with beautiful voices.
And that's alliteration.
Fareed's checked in for Denver. Amir Johnson's checked in for the Heat. Johnson comes in for Winslow. The Heat leading by 10. It's Bradley on the wing. Heat moving the ball around. And the basket by Johnson.
And that bucket adds to what has been a big difference in points in the paint between the two teams.
Here's the screen. Lee against Plumlee. Three-pointer. Murray, no good.
And with the success they've had rebounding the basketball, they're right where you'd expect them to be, firmly in the driver's seat.
And now we go to our rookie leaderboard to get a check on the players at the top of the freshman class in assists over the last 10 games. Fifth, Jamal Murray.
Really starting to connect with his teammates. I mean, a really heads-up player for a rookie.
Shots good by Mills.
Dangerous in the catch and shoot. When Mills sets his feet, has great balance, he's tough to stop.
Chandler, the pass to Murray. Lee pass was put in just the right spot. Murray's got 7 now in this quarter. And here's Mills. He gives a bit of a scoring lift to the team, averaging 8 points a game. Johnson with it. Now guarded by Barton. 5 on the clock. Mills can't hit. The Nuggets trail by 12. About 3 seconds between shot and game clock. Now here's Murray. He's tightly guarded. Down low. And it's slammed in by Plumlee.
As much as you have to admire his burst and force, I think Plumlee's aggressiveness on that play, the impressive part.
And the foul on Jamal Murray. That's his first foul.
I mean, I like the call. I thought the defense was just there a little late.
9 seconds left here in the third quarter. And here's Mills from the arc. That shot missing. Moutier. He's off on that one. And as we end the third quarter, a double-digit deficit will make it tough to come back. It's the Heat up by 10. And time to step aside quickly, but we'll be back in no time with the start of the fourth quarter. Mike Malone moments ago with some words for his players.
Stay positive. Don't get down. We got a lot of time left. We're going to win the game. We are going to win the game.
Coach Mike Malone moments ago trying to get each guy to believe in himself, believe that this still can happen.
And the players have to trust each other. It's going to take all 5 guys working together to recapture that momentum.
And the final period of play just about to start. And for Miami, looking who they've got out there. Johnson is out there with Chris Bosh. Then it's Johnson. Then there's Dragic. And it's Johnson in at the 5. Now here's Dragic. Plumlee with the rebound. Plumlee's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Harris kicks to Moutier. Denver gets it back. Trying his luck deep. Rebound by the Heat. They've led by as many as 14 points.
His offense just has not been there tonight, and he needs to step up his game because there's still time to recover.
Dragic with it, now defended by Moutier. 6 to shoot. Johnson, that's for 2. Tries again. The shot missing. Some solid defense from Fareed. And they go to the intentional foul.
You're not sure what that was about. I mean, talk about a brain cramp.
Jokic has checked in for Plumlee. Here's Jokic. And it falls over the rim and in. Jokic has got it back down to within single digits for Denver. Heat have gone 0-3 to start the fourth quarter. To the wing on the left. Dragic dishes to Bosh. Final quarter here, and we're just over a minute and a half through it. Johnson outside. The pass to Bosh. Fires the 3. Johnson gets the bucket. And the Heat lead by 11.
And he could be the guy to put this game out of reach.
Yep, wanted to put another nail in the coffin and using those hands as a hammer.
Denver calls timeout. And during this timeout, I'm sure they'll be hydrating themselves with Gatorade. All the effort out there on the floor, and these timeouts can be such a huge factor in getting a short rest and recharging the battery.
Just trying to get a break in the action to clear some heads here. I mean, they've gone ice cold, and not a bad idea to give them a little quick breather.
Well, take your breather, but then come up with a game plan or a set that produces something high percentage. Let's get back on track.
And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to David Aldridge.
Hey guys, I was able to catch what Mike Malone said to his team. He said, do you want this game? Don't tell me about it. Show me and show your teammates. We've got to play better and we've got to play harder if we're going to come back. Guys.
We're about 2 minutes into the fourth quarter in this one. Screen by Fareed. Knocks it loose. And it's out of bounds to the Nuggets as Denver retains possession. Jokic a screen. Here's Moutier.
And really, after that strong first half, he has been in quite the tailspin.
Well, hustle from Gallo there. Remember, at 6'10", he can do that. Makes the right call by going back in and finding possession there.
Johnson, the pass to Johnson. And it's Johnson with the jam.
And he just dangles from the bucket after sending that one through.
And you can see which team has the swagger right now. Now, here's Moutier. Harris kicks to Fareed. Denver passing it around. Harris outside. Back to Moutier. Basket is good. The assist from Harris.
And Moutier collects himself, sees where he is on the floor, and simply rises up for the jumper.
Johnson outside. And there's the feed to Johnson. Inside. Here's Dragic. And he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a three-point play.
How about battling through the impact there and then willing that basketball in?
Lee's checked in for Miami.
Mind the lane. Mind the lanes. One shot.
Well, when it comes to free throws, Dragic is just money from the line.
Here's Moutier. Pass to Jokic. Back to Moutier. The putback. It's good on the putback.
Just in a perfect position to grab that rebound and then get the putback.
The Heat leading by 10. Jokic with the steal. And it's Dragic with the foul. That's foul number 2 for him. And the Nuggets making a change here. Chandler's checked in. Avery Bradley, he's checked in for Miami. And a little over 3.5 minutes in the books so far here in the fourth. And it's put back in by Fareed.
And that's just really a stellar job by Fareed to come away with the rebound, tirelessly working for the offensive board.
Lee kicks to Bosch. It's stolen by Moutier. Passes it to Jokic. And he makes that one.
Really just a tremendous day for him. And if you remember, he was just as good in their last game.
Maybe a great run of games coming here. Let's see if he can keep building on this performance.
How about the concentration? He gets hit, but stays with the play and gets the finish.
That one falls for Bosch. 1:51 left in the game. To the inside, Fareed, and the dunk by Fareed.
If there's a skill set you like your point guard to have, that's exceptional court vision. Moutier shows it off there with that assist.
Bradley dishes to Bosch. And then Bosch with the jam.
And he gives that rim a good tug on the way down.
Well, that's how you drive your point home right there. Moutier kicks to Jokic. Shoots a 3. Moutier, no good.
I think the D is just fine with those kind of shot attempts coming from him there because he's not hitting anything right now.
Lee up top, outside Bradley. Out to the wing. Just 5 on the clock. Chandler with the steal. From 15 feet away. And it's Bradley with the rebound.
Well, he really T-Rexed that one, guys, short arming it. He should have taken more time to make sure he was comfortable shooting it.
Here's Dragic. A tad short, but it's good off the front iron. And now an 11-point Heat lead.
And they're not finished just yet. They're going to make sure about this win.
That's the rub. They're leaving nothing to chance here, putting all their energy into this closeout.
32 seconds left in the fourth quarter. From 11 feet away. Second chance shot. A shot, no good. Some solid defense from Fareed. The shot by Chandler, wide open. Again, the miss by Chandler.
And he's really having all sorts of problems with his jumper right now.
And this is one of those slumps that you'll just probably want to shoot your way out of.
The tray off target with that shot. And so it's Miami winning this one. A solid win on the road for them. This building was dead silent by the time this one wound down.
And that's what you want to do. Take the crowd out of it by crunch time. Don't give them any chance to lift their team up at the finish.
It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks, Kevin. Chris, a good win tonight. First game of a back-to-back. How do you turn things around and get ready to play tomorrow?
Well, I mean, we're here. We're here at another tough part in the schedule. You know, we have a very tough challenge tomorrow, especially with a back-to-back. So we're at the part of the schedule where everybody has, but we're going to have to continue to pick it up and hopefully get a W tomorrow.
I know that second night's a grind, but you guys are going to do your best, I know. Congratulations. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Greg Anthony, Brett Barry, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thank you for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. And now time to go to Ernie Johnson, who's alongside Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Hey everybody, Ernie Johnson, along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny Smith. It is time now to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Chris Bosh.
You know what? Usually he takes crazy shot, but his shot selection was outstanding tonight. That's the main thing. He didn't force anything. See, if the shot wasn't there for him, he kept the ball moving. That's how you get your shooting percentage up in the high 50s. Excellent.
It was a very physical performance he turned in tonight. Just look at the number of times he got to the free throw line. Over and over again, he drove hard to the basket. And when he got to the basket, he usually drew a foul.
And that'll wrap things up. Thank you for joining us. For Shaquille O'Neal, for Kenny the Jet Smith, for Kevin Harlan, wherever he might be, and for the rest of the 2K Sports crew, the best in the business. This is Ernie Johnson. Good night, everybody.